Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I am Keely Hamilton. I was recently a LinkedIn Learning Student Champion for the 2020-2021 school year. And I have with me a couple champions for the 2020-2021 Champions Program. And so we just wanted to talk about LinkedIn today. I have a few questions set up for some of these champions, but I would like to first introduce who we have on our call today. So we have Diana Moreno. She's currently a junior at Cal State University Northridge, or CSUN, and she's a communications major. We also have Saeed Umar, who is a senior undergrad attending San Jose State University for a management information systems major. Next, we have Ariel Lomax, and she's a graduate student attending San Jose State University for her master's in library and information science. And last but not least, we have Janima Nzibe, and she is a graduate student attending Texas A&M University for a biomedical engineering major. So thank you guys for joining us today. I'm going to pass it off to Diana, who's going to kind of give a brief rundown of this project before we jump into our questions.
Yeah, so thank you all for listening in and tuning in. We basically wanted to start a podcast where we kind of introduce some of the, what LinkedIn is, what LinkedIn or Linda Learning or LinkedIn Learning is, and basically how we as students first heard of it and how we became little champions. And, basically we just wanted to share and connect with people, letting them know that, hey, we thought the same thing you all did, which was based on my survey that I did with my university. Most people either heard of it or did not know what LinkedIn was, or if they did hear about it, they didn't even know how to utilize it or were intimidated, just like I was. I was extremely intimidated. And so we're just here to really let you know that we all started the same way you all did. And just to kind of give you some tips and just kind of ease it out for you all, and hopefully in the end encourage you to utilize the program, because it's incredibly beneficial, and really to show you how to leverage it with 3 or a few basic tips and just ideas of the main concern of the application. So that's really the basis of this podcast, is just to really connect and relate and share.
That's a great answer, Diane. Thank you for laying that out for our listeners here. So I kind of want to jump into our first question. So this question, I would really love for Saeed and Janima to answer this one. So since becoming a LinkedIn Learning Champion, how have you utilized the platform as a student?
Okay, I guess I could start. Thank you so much for that question. First of all, the main thing that stood out to me was how to prepare for an interview. So as you go through college, you're doing classes, but then you have to get a job at the end of the day, or get an internship at the end of the day. So being able to know how to present yourself, how to speak, and what do you do with research behind the scenes are very important things to learn. So I was able to learn some of that from LinkedIn, in addition to what my school offered, because there was like a wide range of ideas and opinions. Another thing that really helped was I was taking a class. It was I don't remember the exact name of the class, but it had to do with SolidWorks. SolidWorks is an app where you design things in 3D. So I needed to use a certain feature called FEA. So my teacher taught it for like a class session, but that wasn't enough. I needed to go and get like an actual course and certificate course in it, so I could fully understand it. So it helps during classes. If you're confused, you don't need to stay confused. You could actually go and learn more on that topic. Yeah.
So for me, I've been using this platform for almost half a year, and it really helped me utilizing this platform.
Say, do you mind increasing the volume?
Are you guys hearing me? So I've been using this platform
A lot more.
for almost half a year, mainly for exploring career options, along with the skills that I need to develop and also following up with the companies I am interested to work with in the future. It also helped me gaining professional connections from different industry backgrounds that I think without this platform it might not be possible. And I think it's definitely worth both in the time and money investment to grow your skills and opens doors of opportunities.
Thank you both for that answer. I think obviously being a part of this program, it is so important as young professionals to really, utilize this platform to make connections and build our network. So thank you both for that answer. I have a follow-up question to our first question, and I would love for Diana and Ariel to answer this one. What do you recommend that listeners should do to improve their profile? For example, headshot advice, creating a headline, or writing a bio.
I can go. Okay, so one of the biggest mistakes people can make on LinkedIn is to make a profile, but then not do anything at all to customize it or update it. And so when people come across it, it gives the wrong impression. It makes it look like you don't know how to customize it or that you don't even care. And those are, two things that you don't want to showcase, right? So three things that I think to customize your LinkedIn profile that are incredibly important is one is customizing your LinkedIn profile picture. Now, this should definitely be a recent photograph of you. It shouldn't be like of you 10 years ago. Remember, you're in a professional platform, so you want to keep your profile picture from shoulders and above, like a headshot. So we want to see your face. That's primarily the main focus of the picture. We don't want to see your full body. We don't care much about the background. I mean, unless you're an artist or something like that, but still, like, we really just want to see your face, because if you're looking at it from a phone's perspective, it's going to be very, very small. So just keep that in mind as well. Another tip that I want to give is you want the picture to be quality. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a professional professional photographer or anything like that. All I'm saying is don't have a pixelated or blurry picture, because that's not going to be, it's just not going to be appealing to people's vision or eye when we look at your profile. And lastly, you want to keep, again, a professional appearance, because keep in mind, LinkedIn is a professional platform. And so as far as the profile picture, that's some of the tips that I like to give. I'll let Ariel go ahead and maybe, I don't want to talk too much. Maybe she has some insight as well.
Yes, thank you, Diana. I have some tips on personalizing your page more in ways that you might not think of. I didn't think of it at first, but you can add your personal story to your summary. So this means different from a resume, you can tell people where you came from and where you are now and where you were going. And you can really personalize it and get your message out there. And another thing you can do is you can add evidence of the work you've done through multimedia. So in your work experience, you can add things like documents, PowerPoints, PDFs, images. So you can add evidence of coursework that you're proud of or work that you're proud of. And this can really make you stand out from other people. And then lastly, you can add different skills to your profile by taking LinkedIn learning classes. When you take the classes and complete them, it gives you the option to add those skills to your profile. Most recently, I added time management. Woo! So it's very useful, and you feel very proud and accomplished it, and then you can speak for those skills on your profile.
Yeah, I want to add quickly, Kili, other things that are really important that you should have is like your LinkedIn headline. Your headline is an important part of your LinkedIn profile because it should reflect the message you're trying to convey. It is a chance to tell people who you are and what you do. So for instance, if you are already in a career, this is a good place to list your job title and the company you work for. Otherwise, you can just, if you're a student, you put your, your student, where you're from, like your junior, because people like to know where we are in our seasonal, life. And so this is also just make it a good one. This is where people can just really kind of a quick like synopsis of who you are. And as Ariel was talking about, the adding the summary or the about summary page about yourself, most people have trouble with this. I'm not going to lie, and this is where it provides an opportunity to, again, like she mentioned, list your accomplishments, your mission statement, your career goals and aspirations. It gives an opportunity to provide your personality and any key words. So when you are creating your LinkedIn summary profile, again, it's an elaboration of who you are. So you want to definitely, maybe what I did, sometimes it's hard for us to talk about ourselves. So I think a good tip is to ask professionals around you, like, what are my strengths and weaknesses? Or like asking them to write a summary about you, because sometimes we get stuck. I got stuck for months. I had to get outside help for this one. And people are going to read this. Like if you don't have any of these three things from your profile picture, your headline, or your summary about, people are going to skip over you because we want to see your face. We want to know about you. And it gives us insight on you. You make it a little bit more interesting to know who you are. In addition, nowadays, really quickly, jobs are asking for your LinkedIn profile information. And so what this means is, like, people already know your resume when you're applying for jobs. This gives you another opportunity to highlight more of who you are on a personal level. And that's what jobs are looking for nowadays as well. So I don't mean to say too much, but I think that's incredibly important to add for our listeners.
I think both of you had such great points that I just wanted to touch on briefly before we move on to the next question. Diana, you mentioned, with the headshot that it should be professional, but you did mention about being more artistic. It could be a different profile. And I actually wanted to touch on that because for the longest time through the program, when I was a champion, I had, professional headshot, and I had, a blazer on and a nice top, and there was nothing wrong with that photo, but because I was really interested in being a content creator working in social media, I actually recently changed my profile photo to being more creative. It's still a nice picture of me, but it's not as quote unquote professional or what you would typically see on the platform. And that's for my personal branding. And so I think you both touched on that with the profile, that you have to speak to your brand, and that's so important. And depending on what industry you're going in, that's what's going to be reflected on your platform. Ariel, you also touched about the multimedia aspects of the experience section, and that is something that I love to tell people about too, because I think it's a skip section sometimes. Depending on what you're doing, what these experiences entail for each person, if you can add those presentations like you're talking about, or any work that you've done, it is so key because it just pops out when someone looks at your portfolio and your profile. I mean, when you're scrolling down on those experiences, that stands out to you. And it draws your eye. So I love that you brought that up. That is fantastic. I wanted to move on to our follow-up question for number 2. And I would love Saeed and Ariel to answer this one if they wouldn't mind. What are some of your favorite courses that you recommend students should watch to build their professional skills? And this is on LinkedIn Learning, of course.
I guess I can go first. So I'm taking so many classes right now. I'm not finished with them all, but definitely transforming your personal brand, or transform your personal brand by Goldie Chan and Madecraft. I'm not finished with this one yet, but it was recommended to me. And it's really great. It teaches you how to create your brand, how to overcome mental obstacles like imposter syndrome, and how to communicate your brand through networking, mentoring, etc. for me who feels intimidated by that, it's very helpful. So, and then another one, let's see, Python for students. I took a Python class, but it went by so fast, and I feel like taking this LinkedIn Learning class just gives me time to go through it. It teaches the fundamentals, and there's coding activities, and it's a well-rounded introduction. And in addition, there's oh my gosh, what is it? Data. Oh, I forgot. Okay, there's other classes for coding for students too, and I want to try those. And I think anyone who can't fit any coding classes into their coursework, it's a great opportunity to take advantage and have a course for free where you can learn coding. And then the last course is Leadership Strategies for Women by Carolyn Gorner and Daisy Lovelace. It's for women, we deal with different obstacles like the imposter syndrome and bias and always apologizing when we don't need to. And so it really tackles those things, and also finding your strengths and giving you skills to empower all people, male and female. So I definitely recommend that one. And the other class I remember just now, so it was Python for students and data analytics for students. That's the one I'm going to take next. So okay.
So for my experience, I've taken so many classes as of now. Currently, I'm taking how to navigate job search in order to develop my career searching skills. And in that, I am following up with the courses like how to do job hunting for college grads and creating a career plan, job search strategies, LinkedIn learning, navigation, and how to give an elevator pitch to your potential employers if you call for interview, because these courses is like a foundation step in order to move towards your um, targeted goals. If someone wants to uh, if someone is planning to have a long-term career goal within the next 5 to 10 years, so this kind of courses help them navigating these skills.
Thank you both for answering that question. Actually, a course I would like to add to our running list of favorite courses. I watched one by Career Cake. It was called How to Develop Your Career Plan. And I think this is probably resonates with a lot of people right now. It talked about how you can essentially decide your career plan in 3 steps through reflection, research, and review. And they talked about a traffic light system in which you essentially go through different job descriptions of, different companies that you're wanting to work for, or roles you think that you'd be good at, and you take a green, yellow, and red highlighter, and you basically will go through each of these job descriptions, and you will highlight using these different colors, things that you're good at, skills that that you have, and then maybe skills that you kind of have but would like to improve on, and skills that you might not have at the moment but would like to learn. And so I think that was just a really cool way of going about it, to kind of break down the entire career search process, because I know it can definitely be overwhelming. And what better way to talk about it than on a platform like LinkedIn? So thank you guys both for answering that. We now are going to move on to question number 3, which I would love Diana and Ariel to answer. How do you increase engagement across your profile? So an example, this would be, creating your own posts, commenting on other people's content, and sending connection requests to people that you may know, or companies that you are looking to find roles at.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go. So the power of making connections and networking is powerful, right? In LinkedIn. One of the things that one must do is do research on the person you want to connect with. Go into their profile, find out. A lot of them either are authors of books. They've written books. They, are public speakers. Those are my kind of people. And so I go into their websites, I do research, I find what I most like about them, and then when I do click on them to connect, I always message them. You always want to send a message because most likely they're not going to know who you are. They want to know why you're trying to connect. And that's incredibly important to have an intentional like message. Why do I want to connect with them? And then lastly, when you message them, think about why you want to connect with them. I kind of just said that, but so again, just thinking about why, like not just, this isn't like an Instagram or social media where, oh, we're going to get as many friends as we can. This is a professional platform. So, you know, one of the things that Ryan Servaco said from LinkedIn, if anyone knows who he is, I mean, most people do. He mentioned that, for instance, people were messaging me from Africa, and like he asked me, and I said, well, should I friend them? Like, should I accept their friend request? And he said, listen, are you going to work in Africa? And I said, no. And he said, then don't message them. Why? Because this is all like a web. The computer will start formatting, like, okay, you accepted people's requests from Africa or Europe, then they're going to start connecting you with more people over there. So just keep those things in mind, the behind the scenes kind of professional aspect when making connections. You don't have to say yes to everyone. You want to be strategic. I think that's incredibly important to hear and to say. And I think those are my 3 tips that I want to give the audience here.
And I totally agree with Diana. She said everything pretty much. Just some tips to increase engagement is make sure you check LinkedIn every day. There's a lot that you can miss in one day, so it's important to check it daily, even when you're not job hunting. Also, one thing I really enjoy, start attending some LinkedIn Live events. There are LinkedIn Lives events. It's kind of like Instagram Live, and you can meet a lot of people and network. I've met a lot of interesting, amazing people and network through those events. And it's really a great way to get engaged and get involved in LinkedIn. And then also, pretty much everything that Diana said, but I just wanted to say, never be afraid to network. You might think, oh, will they mind, or I don't want to bother them, or I don't know them. But you have to remember that most people, everybody is on LinkedIn to network. So no one is going to be offended or insulted or felt intruded upon. But like Dana said, it's very important when you try to connect with people to send a message, let them know why, don't just connect, say something. But definitely I had to get over that intimidation, and I have to say, don't be afraid to network. That's why everyone's there. So feel free to reach out.
Thank you both so much. I think you both did a really great job kind of talking about why it is so important to not only just be on the platform, but to actually engage on the platform and make posts and comment on other people's content. I think a really great part of being in this program is that you get to go out of your comfort zone. You get to do these projects. You get to, listen to these LinkedIn courses, connect with other champions like we're doing right now, and really just try to expand your network, but also just build up your personal brand. I actually wanted to go back really quick because we did talk about our favorite courses on LinkedIn Learning, but I don't think we really got a chance to really talk about what LinkedIn Learning, or previously Lydia.com, is and how it is such an incredible resource for students. Would Diana and Chinimo like to answer this question?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so like I mentioned, LinkedIn Learning is, first of all, if you're a student, you're going to get it for free because most likely your university is going to pay for it. Now, I'm not sure about community colleges, and I'm not sure if after you graduate, you still have the opportunity to get it for free. That's something that you must do research on. I'm still learning about it. However, what I do know is that while you're in school, you get it for free. Generally, you have to pay for this. And so I highly suggest that anyone that is at a university to take full advantage of these over 10,000 courses in its library that is taught by hundreds of industry leaders and top instructors. This is basically like an online, you know, course that is free, that you can learn within, like, let's say an hour, and you can break it down. Like, you can do 30 minutes or 20 minutes. You can work however long you want. It saves where you're at, you know, with our incredible schedules of being busy all the time, or productive, as I like to say. Again, new courses are being added like daily. Like, people are just being invited to teach on LinkedIn Learning. Like, this is like the new kind of online way to learn. And these are certified courses that include, from, like Ariel mentioned, you know, business, creative, and technology. And it covers a wide range of technical skills, soft skills, digital tools, and software titles. I mean, once you complete courses on LinkedIn Learning, you can easily add those certificates of completion on your LinkedIn account, which will help you improve your profile and your personal brand by showing people you are continuing to learn and improve. And so I highly suggest that you take advantage of this LinkedIn Learning tool. And it really is to develop your career plan. Your career and your self-improvement, your career. Furthermore, people, when they see that, they're like, wow, she's doing a lot here. And it doesn't take too much, you know, but you do get certified through these certificates. And I think it's just such an awesome accomplishment. So that's what I think LinkedIn Learning is. It's just keeping you moving with learning and up to date.
Yeah, thank you, Diana, for that. I think you properly explained what LinkedIn Learning is and how it is very, very important that every student should get engaged with it, because you will miss out when you graduate and you don't have access to it and have to pay for everything. It's a lot of money that accumulates over the years, and I think you should take advantage of it now. So you might be wondering, what can I do with LinkedIn Learning? Okay, it's available, but how do I use it? Take, for example, you have a class that you're taking, like a coding class. Coding classes go through the whole semester and it's quick, it's fast. Sometimes you might be lagging behind and you could go on LinkedIn Learning and type in C++, Python, or whatever it is you're learning and take a course on it. The thing is, the course stores on your LinkedIn profile. That way, everybody that sees your profile knows, okay, she's proficient or he's proficient in whatever coding course you took. So that helps you stand out, because the job market is getting more competitive, if you want to be honest. Everybody graduating with you has a bachelor's degree. You're really not that special. So when you take LinkedIn Learning courses, you stand out because you have so much in your back pocket that you can show and actually have proof of, you know. So, and it's free. Like, I can't say it stress enough, it's free. You can do this for yourself. Not just for those kinds of things. People have personal passions that they want to, you know, express, and they can't really do that. Like photography, you can actually have certifications in photography and have a side hustle. Let's say you want to learn about graphic designing, you can do that. Or you want to learn about cryptocurrency, how do I save money and work with like the stock markets, you can do all those things. And it's very possible, like it's endless. You can do whatever it is you want and actually be more beneficial to yourself and improve yourself career-wise.
I think you both did an excellent job answering that question. I definitely wanted to highlight here what you both were talking about, that this is such an amazing tool, and that not only that, but it is free. I think, especially with the pandemic, you know, everyone's trying to figure out ways that they can, you know, improve their skills, build up their resume, and this is like the place to start. You know, like Janima was talking about, you can go onto the platform and really just look at what skills you want to improve, and you most likely will be able to find a course that can help you with that. And not only that, this gets to go on your profile, and it is a certified certificate letting people know, I took this time to sit down, go through hours of content, go through everything that this course had to offer, and probably extra, and then get certified for this. So it is such a great tool. It's free, and you know, it's part of the platform, and it works so well with your LinkedIn profile. I think this is a great segue into our last question, which I would love for Chinima and Saeed to answer. can you discuss different ways that you can share content on your profile, and give us a couple benefits for each of them? So for example, you could have, videos, written posts, or stagnant graphics.
I think it's sorry. Saeed, you can go ahead.
Sure, thank you. Well, there are multiple ways you can share content on profile. First one is through short postings where you just simply sharing quality trends based on your particular industry you find interesting. But the goal is to sharing it consistently, even if it's short. And mentioning someone is also very helpful, which gives you an advantage to people who can interact with your post and engage with it more freely. The second is through written articles on different contents where people can share their experiences on what they have faced in the past and opportunities they have had which made them very successful in their chosen career. And another one through sharing videos by engaging the viewers by asking a question, um, or even a small conversation about day-to-day work activities in their job. And that gives a lively interaction to the viewer. Considering this right, also considering the right length is important by respecting each other's time, and last but not least, giving context by adding some texture into the video, by adding some catchy information uh, that also that also enhance the quality of the video.
Yeah, okay. I wanted to add the simplest thing that you can do to share content is to just share what you like from other users as well. It's not just you um putting out content, but like from other people. That's like the easiest thing you can do. But you can always take it a step further, because the reason why you want to share content is so that you can bring people to identify with you, one, and also understand your journey. You bring attention to yourself and to what your profile is and what you're about. So it's important to do postings. You could do articles, you could do videos, but make it as engaging as possible. A lot of ones that that go viral or are very popular are the ones that come as stories, an experience they had, someone that they met. If it's a recruiter, somebody they interviewed and the lesson they took out of it. So taking people along with your journey and telling stories helps as well. You can also share important like articles that you read, or let's say there's this groundbreaking invention in your field. You could share that as well and tell people about it. So share, especially when it comes to your career. Share about it in different ways. Videos are good, but I would say graphics are very important too. So when you post, put a graphic up. It's more catchy. It relates to what you're writing, and people will be interested in what you're saying. If it's just words, people will just like pass through it and just keep going because it's not as engaging as you would like it to be.
I think you both did a great job answering that question. And Janima, you made a point about sharing. And I think that's really crucial because I think, when we talk about, oh, just share content and, just post videos or kind of share other people's content, it can be kind of tricky because you're kind of like, well, what do I share? What am I supposed to put on my profile? And I know a lot of us see on the platform, people getting jobs and talking about transitioning in their career, which is fantastic. I mean, that is one of the main reasons why we have the platform, so that we can, congratulate other people on their success and connect with them. But it's also to build our personal brand, which I think what we've all been talking about here today is that you don't need to just post about new job opportunities. You can post about things that are happening in your field, like Janima said. You can post about these courses, the LinkedIn courses that you're taking, and what you learned from it. And I think with this program too, that's what it's teaching us as champions, how to, use the platform to our abilities, and really sell ourselves so that when we do get into our careers post school, it'll be easier for us because we've, kind of built this reputation on the platform. Um, That's all the questions that I have for today. I want to thank you all so much for coming on today and answering these questions. If anyone has any closing remarks that they would like to share, that would be great. Diana, if you would like to hop in here and just kind of give our listeners one final concluding thought, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, definitely. So I just want you all to know as well that you can become a LinkedIn Learning Champion as well. That opportunity, I think it's seasonal. It's every March or something. I'm not quite sure. I'm sorry for the lack of information here, but my message here is that you can become a LinkedIn Learning Champion if you like. I decided to become a champion because I wanted to take the opportunity to find out how to utilize and how to leverage my own self with LinkedIn platform. And so that's what it's done. I've been able to, they've been giving me the videos to watch, like literally the first video to watch is like how to use LinkedIn Learning. Like that's like the most basic one, and it breaks it down for you and it really explains it. It took me a week to finish the video because I was, obviously in school, I'm a single parent, but I got it done. And now because of LinkedIn Learning, I finished, I have my picture, I have my headline, and I have my about me, and I've been making connections. I've made connections. Like Ariel took the strength and the courage to connect with some high up there people. And I learned also that when you're first starting, you're going to get blocked. Like LinkedIn literally blocks you from connecting with others because they're saying, hey, you're not done yet. You haven't completed these things. You're not even capable of connecting with these people. And so I learned how to navigate. But more importantly, I asked for a mentor in my profile, and I have a few mentors now. And I've connected with, like Ariel mentioned, like live LinkedIn, groups. There's a lot of groups, like the Latina groups, there's Filipino groups, there's a whole ethnic diverse world here with LinkedIn Learning. And that's really what I want to showcase. I know that some people might be intimidated by showing their face or, with this whole race issue and stuff. But what I say to you is you want to be connected with the people that don't have a problem with any of that. And if they don't like you for whatever reason their personal reasons are, you don't want to connect with them anyway. So I highly just want to encourage everyone to be fully 100% authentically yourselves, because that's what LinkedIn is about. It's really to become like a one big world and one big family of diversity. They really emphasize diversity and uniqueness. And the more individualistic you are, the more unique you are, and the more confident you are, the better you'll do in LinkedIn. So again, you can just Google or type in, becoming a LinkedIn Learning Champion. The URL is https colon and then forward slashes, two of them, learning.linkedin.com/customer/LinkedIn, and then like the slash or the dash, I don't know what you call that, but learning, and then another dash, champion dash program. And then that's your URL that you can look up, or just search it up on LinkedIn platform. And that's pretty much it, y'all. I hope you got a few tips. Just remember, your profile picture, number one, your headline, number two, and your about page. Everything else will get worked out and you'll figure it out. But good luck, everyone. And I hope you can leverage yourselves with this platform. Thank you.